Yeah, I think we're live. I think we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a new camera, so we're testing a whole different angle out here. Happy Labor Day. Today I'm going to talk about the teleport pedal and this crazy deal that I'm running where you can try it in your house for free for 30 days. You pay shipping. If you don't like it in 30 days, you send it back. That's it. If you do like it, you can keep it. And then you get billed $200 for 3 months in a row. So it splits up the payments. So I'm going to tell you today how loopers, and specifically what we built in the teleport, can help get you from over that hump from an intermediate player to an advanced player, and what that really means. The first step is to just get past playing your basic cowboy chords and use triads to establish a bunch of different spots on the neck, okay? To try to fit a low, a middle, and a high part. So what I'm going to do is I just have a simple click here. What tempo are we at? Oh, hilarious. GT Panic. You met my brother last night at Humphreys. Nice, nice. Love that. Yeah, dude, down at St. Augustine. I heard it was a rainy night. That's awesome. Okay, so here's our click. I'm going to add a little basic part here. We're going to do some basic cowboy chords. So it's A minor to G, F, G. So that's kind of like step one, right? Everybody can do that. Now, when you become kind of an intermediate player, you start learning your cage shapes, you'll be able to play those versions of chords in a couple other spots on the neck. But when you really make the jump to becoming more of an advanced player, you start thinking in terms of triads everywhere, right? So triads are the three notes that make up any chord, your root, third, and fifth, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make little pieces of this A minor, G major, and F major triad. I'm going to do a low, middle, and high part to have something kind of blend out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this play, and I'm going to create overdubs on the same channel so I don't have to start and stop. Cool feature of the teleport, unlimited overdubs. So I just hit record, and it'll allow me to do this again. Now listen. Now I'm going to add an even higher part. Noticed I ascended and then descended. I'm changing my arpeggiation patterns as well. So what are we going to do here? Let's add something. I messed up the last one. I gotta do it over again. God, this is what happens. This is what happens. You try to get fancy. Watch. Okay, let's do the whole thing over again. Now we'll do overdubs. Low to high. Okay, so all I did there, okay, is I played the A minor triad, started here, here, and here. That's it. On the 4-3-2 strings, that's it. 3 notes, 3 strings, 3 shapes. There's this one, and this one. Then it just repeats, right? And all I did is take it up there. So for G, root position, first inversion, second inversion. Same thing for F, root. So all I did was go up and down and made a lower, middle, higher part for each chord. That right there is something that a lot of even intermediate players don't really grasp. They have pattern 2 and 4 everywhere. Like here's my A, right? Like this, you know. And they can do, or maybe, maybe like do it like that, but not really thinking like a piano player where it's very clear where each of your triads are. That is what loopers are great for, because you can let it keep going and you can add a bunch of different parts. Okay, let me see who's in the chat here. Dead Fish Cheese Spread, Eminent Front. That was a good time. Mr. Tonic, how you doing, my friend? Mr. Pickle, Tight Stick Player. Yeah, Uncle Connor, for sure. Cashew, how are you doing? Mr. Pickle. All right, for everybody that's just tuning in here, happy Labor Day. If you haven't seen, running a crazy deal on the teleport right now where you can try it in your house for 30 days. I think most people, they just think it's a regular loop pedal, and they're like, why would I buy that? And so I want to make it real easy for you to, actually use it and be blown away by it. So if you haven't, take advantage of this trial. Go to teleport.guitargate.com. The link's in there. I'll send you one for 30 days. If you send it back and you don't like it, all you paid was shipping. Done, right? Risk-free. Martin, how you doing? Dean York, good to see you. Johan, yes, we are live. Okay, so I made that part with teleport, right? I made one track and I have overdubs. Now I'm going to move to a different track. I'm going to go to track 2 here. And now when you start thinking in terms of triads, okay, the next step, becoming an intermediate to kind of more of an advanced player, is getting out of the box and just thinking, okay, this is A minor, this is All Along the Watchtower, I'm just going to do this. Let me turn down that volume on that track up here. Give me a little, let's turn this down here. So I can hear the lead a little better. Yes, you can isolate the volumes for each track. Okay. So your typical kind of way to go through this would be to just be like, oh, I'm A minor pentatonic throughout this whole thing. And yes, of course, that's fine. Sounds something like this, right? What you want to get to, okay, where you see a lot of more advanced players get to, is you start connecting those triads with melodies. You start creating lines that really follow the chord tones, okay? So if I just look at this intro piece where I did A minor like this, 7-5-5, root, flat, third, fifth, down to G major, down to F major. If I just pick those 3 strings, let's do 1 string. If I just pick 1 string, okay? Sorry. If I just pick the 4th string, the notes that I have to choose from are my roots, A, G, F, okay? Pretty basic. If I just choose the 3rd string, the chord tones that I'm tracking are going to be C, B, and A. You can look at it as the middle note in each one of those. And on the second string, of course, you have E, D, and C. If you limit yourself to just that, and you say, I'm going to make melodies that go up and down string sets, connecting those chord tones, immediately you start playing stuff where you hear the tones, right? You hear the song, and it doesn't sound like a scale over top. This is really what loopers are great for, right? So I moved a little bit up here just because it's kind of hard to help yourself sometimes. But hopefully you could hear the difference. The difference is I was using a roadmap, a skeleton of chord tones to track where I'm playing. Like I was thinking to myself, I'm visually seeing these are the notes that I get to when I get to the A minor chord. These are the notes that I get to over G. These are the notes that I get to over F. So wherever I am, I'm just thinking chord tone, chord tone, chord tone. And a true test for all of you out there is, can you hear the change? Can you make single line notes, but can you hear the chord changes without the chords? Add in little pieces of triads like as you go along, but see if you can actually hear it, right? You got this. Right? If you can just get your brain around, I'm not just thinking I'm soloing in this key, and these are my big bar chord shapes. If you can start thinking in terms of triads, and then the melodic notes that go from triad chord tone to triad chord tone, that jump was really the jump where it's just like, okay, I'm not just like a straight ahead intermediate player with some chops. Like I'm actually making music here, and I can hear the chords that are under, right? That was the big thing for me. And so when using loopers, you know, they're so useful. But one of the reasons we made this thing multi-track is so that you can make multiple rhythm tracks and multiple lead tracks that are different lengths. And you can practice doing that, making melodies that connect the different triads that you made, right? That's the whole point of it. Let's see what questions the people have. But again, thanks for tuning in here today. And if you haven't yet, if you're interested in Teleport, it's a really good time to try one. Free in your home for 30 days. Okay. Sat down to pay my mortgage. Yes, it is. Well, you get 1 day grace period because it's a holiday today. That's it. When can we get an Andy Wood reaction on the channel? Candyman, I would love to. I love Andy Wood's playing. We all do. Did you send me an email? Someone sent me an email recently suggesting it, but I don't know if a live video link was in there. If it was you, let me know. Or just send me the link at support@guitargate.com. I'd love to see a great live video. What is my signal chain? I don't have a signal chain today. So this is guitar going into the teleport, right? There's no effects on the teleport. It is a loop pedal, multi-track recorder, interface. It is not, it does not have any effects. Then I'm going straight into my interface, which is Apollo Twin. And then I'm going into GarageBand, and I'm using just a basic Fender amp setting in GarageBand. That's it. You'd be surprised how good it sounds, right? Works great. Okay. Keller Williams, Looper Super Free. I am aware. Let's see here. No, I'm not playing the Forbidden Song. It wasn't me, but let's do Back to Austin. Yeah, send me an email. In the meantime, if you have any questions out there about teleport, about looping, about using triads and melodies to kind of get past that intermediate plateau, just drop them in there. Let's clear this, and I'll make something in a different key. We'll find a different vibe for us, okay? We'll keep it on the metronome so it sounds good. Let's slow it down. Let's see. It didn't record. Okay. I had my timing wrong. Here we go. Count in. 2. Do some overdubs. More B minor. Yeah. This is a cool one because it's basically B minor, but there's some actual C sharps in there, right? So it implies A major, right? But then you also have this G sharp in there, which implies E major. Okay, so if you have E major, A major, right, and B minor, you're really in like B Dorian. You're in the key of A, so you have a D major in there, right? Right. So like, so I'm thinking to myself, right? Right. But I'm just trying to make little lines that don't sound scalular, that just add in those little pieces of the, right, in the, wherever I can. track. All right, who jumped in here? Adam Field. Hey, what's happening? Chris, I really do appreciate that. I work hard over here. It's a great community. Yeah, that one was pretty funky. Maybe I'll do a different one. Sounds like Shackman, Medeski Martin Wood. I don't know if I know that one. Adam, can you talk about anything on triad pairs? Yeah, neat DJ Logic Scratch Savannah. Wouldn't that be great? So what exactly do you mean by triad pairs? I'm really curious what you think, what you think that means. Not because I'm testing you, but because I want to make sure I tell you the right thing. When I think triad pairs, here's what I think. I think knowing where your closest moves are in triads is imperative. So in these two examples, we've been descending, okay? We've been essentially descending like a whole step, right? So from A minor to G to F, okay? But like when you do a lot of perfect intervals, like perfect fourth and perfect fifth, they're over. They're not necessarily like as far as on the neck, they're over. They're not like this, right? So knowing that like if here's your A major, your 4 chord is here, that triad pair, and then your 5 chord is here. Like knowing this cluster of like and being able to outline each one of those little chords with a triad without moving the whole neck, you know, instead of going and having it in each spot. So A, D, E, A, D, E. Here's the great thing, though. It might seem like, oh, wow, I'm never going to be able to do that. That, like, he did that so fast, and I'll never. It's only 3 shapes. 3 strings, 3 strapes, 3 fingers. Like, there's nothing else to figure out. So, E, right? Let's go to E. Root position is this. You all know this like big bar chord shape. If you're in G, look at just the 4-3-2 strings, right? That shape, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. It's a movable shape. That is just root 3rd and 5th of whatever chord you're on, right? That's shape 1. Only 2 left on this string set, right? So, take the second note, which is G sharp, put your 3rd finger there. And now, instead of doing like this, switch them. Now you're in first inversion. So now it's still the same E major chord, E, G sharp, and B. It's just G sharp's the lowest note. G sharp, B, E. So it sounds the same as, you just put the middle note on the bottom. And then one more. Take the second note. Find that with your 3rd finger. Lay it flat. Bar it. This is your piece of pattern 2. That's it. Those are your 3. And then if you keep going up, it just goes right back to the first pattern. Nothing else to figure out. No long division, no crazy stuff. That's it, right? So it's just E, 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 and then it's higher, but it's back to the same first shape. E. That's all that's happening. So it doesn't matter whether you switch to a different chord, it's A major or D major or whatever, still going to be one of those same 3 shapes. 3 fingers, 3 strings, 3 shapes. That's it. There's nothing else there. So just knowing that if your one chord's like this, there's your 4 chord, there's your 5 chord, and you have that, awesome. There's only 2 other spots, right? Right? It's all just A, D, E, A, D, E, A, D, E, and that's it. There's no other place that you can play the notes of those chords on those strings with those same fingers. Like, that's it. It's like a piano player. Like, it just repeats. So when you say triad pairs, that's what I think. I think, do I know at least where my major chords are? 1, 4, 5. Wherever I am on the neck. If I'm on 1, I know there's 4 here. If I'm on 1, I know there's 4 here. If I'm on 1, I know there's 4 here. That's what I think. Okay. Adam. Major to minor triads in a key are shared and can be used together. That is not what I would think, but hopefully what I just demonstrated makes sense to you. So Adam, yes. So 2 triads next to each other, basically. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Like, here's a real easy thing for all of you to work on, okay? Super simple. If you take a basic song that you know, let's say it's G and C. Can you just go up the neck and play those pairs and triads? And that exercise right there is exactly what you should use a loop pedal to do. Let me bring up the tempo a little bit. Just that exercise, right? Just. Oh, missed it. It happens. And now just go up and add the triads. Now, you would never add all of those parts to a song. You can see how busy it gets, but those were literally all of the options on the 4-3-2 strings to play those 2 chords. That's it. What Triads really does for you is it makes you realize that this whole thing, it feels like, oh, I could be doing anything. It makes it like a keyboard where it's just like, no, I'm just playing GBD. There's only 3 notes, GBD and a G chord. So I can have G at the bottom, go up to the next spot, B's at the bottom, right? B, D, G, and then it go up, oh, D's at the bottom. And then it repeats. That's it. That's the beauty of it. Any other questions out there about teleport and about using triads and how to use loopers in particular to work on your rhythm and lead guitar? The thing I'll leave you with is, again, the jump from an intermediate to a more advanced player. I know we all hate those titles, but for me, it was really like when I was like, oh, I'm actually more of an advanced player now. Like, the thing that changed wasn't the chops. Of course, that's a huge part. It was. Can I hear the different chords? And can I make the sound of the different chords, whether I'm playing rhythm or lead guitar, right? Can I jump in with the band and they're playing a low part, and can I come up with a mid-range part? Can I come up with a high part that accentuates the chords, that sounds like the song? It doesn't just sound like, hey, dude, it's in A minor, right? Play some A minor. That's the jump. When you're a beginner player, I learned it like this. I know the notes. I can get through it, right? And more intermediate players, Yeah, it's in the key of A minor. I can follow you. I have some licks. I'm kind of stuck in my boxes, but I can get through it. A more advanced player is, oh, it's A minor, G, and F, and I can play an A minor, G, and F triad anywhere on the neck. So if there's a spot open in the middle, I can make a middle spot. And when I go to take a lead, right, I can spell out A minor, G, and F with my lead playing and not just my rhythm playing. Like, that's really the jump. And there is no tool better for practicing that than a loop pedal, because you have to create the parts. It's not just a jam track, you have to make them. And we made Teleport specifically to have you get better at that, because there's different tracks with different channels that can be different lengths, and then you can download them and upload them with other people working on the same thing. So you are forced to try new stuff. That is it. I hope you all enjoyed this. Happy Labor Day. And again, I would encourage each of you, give Teleport a shot. Try it in your home for free for 30 days. It will easily become your most used pedal. Even if I didn't make it, it would be the most used thing I have in my studio. I definitely play, not a joke, hours more a day because of it. Because I log on, I find other people making stuff, I download it, I start coming up with parts that I wouldn't, trying to figure out how to make something work with them. And before you know it, 2 hours have gone by, and that's 2 hours that I've played guitar instead of done emails or something else. And so, again, even if I didn't make it, I would use it all the time, and I love it. So I hope this inspires you to pick up your guitar, play a little more, and really dig deep into triads and how to connect them with melodies. And that's it, Mr. Tonic. Remember, keep stacking wins. I know you like this new angle, don't you? I love you all. Take care, and happy Labor Day. Hope you enjoy some time with your family today as well.